listperfectly has released some new extension settings for when cross-posting to Etsy to optimize the listing experience. To enable these settings, you'll want to click the listperfectly icon in the top right corner of the browser, and then choose settings in the bottom right corner. Now from here, you want to choose the Etsy icon. Now we're going to go over a few different settings here. So we'll notice that we have an option to choose use new listing form. And what this allows you to do when it's enabled is it allows you to cross-post to Etsy's new listing form. The next option that we have is add core details. And with this setting enabled, what it allows you to do is it allows you to set all of the core details that Etsy requires you to add to each listing. It allows you to set it once in the listperfectly extension, and then from that point forward, anytime you cross-post to Etsy, all of those selections will be automatically made for you. So that way you don't have to make those selections for each individual listing. So we'll take a look at the first option. We see that we have the option for what type of item is it. If we click into the drop-down box, we have the option between physical item and digital files. Because we typically deal with physical items, we're going to choose physical item. The next option is who made it. You can select between I did, a member of my shop, or another company or person. For us, we're going to choose another company or person. Our next option is what is it? And you can choose between a finished product or a supply or tool to make things. We're going to choose a finished product. And lastly, when was it made? From here, you can choose anywhere from 1900 to 1909, all the way up to made to order. For us, because we typically deal with vintage items, we're going to choose before 2004. Now that we have set our core details, we're going to go ahead and cross-post a listing over to Etsy by clicking the cross-post icon on the left-hand side of the screen next to the sweater that we would like to cross-post. Next, we'll see the screen come up with all the different marketplaces that we can choose from. We're going to choose Etsy and then the copy button. Now from here, a new tab will be opened up and all of our listing details and our core details, as well as our images, will be copied into the new listing form on Etsy. So now we can go ahead and review the listing and make any sort of necessary selections before ultimately publishing the listing. And right here, we can see that we are at the core details section of the listing form, and we can see that all of those core details that we have added to the extension have now automatically been added to the core details section. So it alleviates us from having to make those selections for this particular listing and any listing after, as long as we have those settings enabled. So we'll just simply choose our category. And then we'll choose our shipping profile. And now we'll go ahead and review the rest of the listing. We can see that our shipping details have copied in. So this listing looks good to go. So we're going to go ahead and publish the listing. And just like that, we have now cross-posted from listperfectly to Etsy using listperfectly's new Etsy settings.